Hi, we're going to talk about inspections today because that's our next step. You've already called and scheduled your inspection. Now for a seller, it's an exciting day because you're going to find out if there's any problems with the house you've selected. For the buyer, it's kind of nerve-wracking. They're not especially excited about that. So let's take the perspective of the buyer. You are surely able to attend the inspection. It is good from one standpoint because a lot of times when they're looking through things and you go through the report and you're only reading the words, it sounds a lot scarier than it is. And when you're there with the inspector, you can see that it may be a minor thing, but when written up, it looks pretty major. Not necessary that you're there. All the inspectors give a detailed report. They take plenty of pictures and they're open to phone calls for further explanation if you need it. So that's very comforting, especially in our market where most of the people live out of state and are buying a home out of state. They can't be here for the inspection. You are allowed to inspect yourself, and you are allowed to have a licensed inspector. Other things, other people, a contractor, they are not qualified. They are not considered qualified to do the inspection for you. So you will not be able to request repairs unless you do the inspection yourself or have a licensed inspector do it for you. All right, let's flip over to the seller side. It is a day of a little trepidation because you're not sure what they're going to find. You know they're going to go through everything. So let's just have everything ready for them. Be sure that you have the crawl space open, the attic open, access to any locked areas, closets. Try and clear things out of the way. If there's something in front of the furnace or the water heater, give them access. It'll just make it easier. You're not trying to hide anything. Know that it could take up to 4 hours, depending on the size of your house, to do the inspection. They're going to turn on every burner on your stove. They're going to run water in your bathtub, shower, sink. They will do all these things. They will get on the roof. They will go in the attic and crawl in the crawl space and flush the toilets and just do everything they can think of. Check for moisture in the walls. Check the outlets. I mean, there's a myriad of things that they will check. So just give them access. If you have any unusual thing that opens or turns on in an unusual way, be sure and explain it or leave a note about how to do it so that they can have a complete report and will not have to come back for a second inspection. Now, that's your general inspector, but your buyer may want some further inspections, and sometimes the general inspector can do them all. They may want a radon test, which requires that they put a mechanism in the basement that has to run for 2 or 3 days. I don't recall the exact amount, but a certain number of days, and then they come back and pick it up to get their reading. So know that would be a 2-visit inspection. They will do a water test if you're on a well. That requires them taking water from the sink or outside and sending it to a lab, and it takes usually a day or 2 to get that report back, depending on if it's a weekend or not. Then it's going to take longer. So, and then the other report could be termite. Lenders require a termite inspection, and sometimes these inspectors can do it, or they work closely with a termite company and they schedule it at the same time. So understand that you may have your general inspection one day and still have some further inspections to do. They need to accomplish their inspections in that allotted time. So if their inspection period was have the inspection done in 14 days, then they need to have all those inspections done within the 14 days. Then they will receive a report. And from that report, the actual things that they are supposed to ask for are to be structural or safety issues. Now, what happens is if they're not directed by their agent, they will ask for numerous things, cosmetic things. These are not meant to be things that you do. You have the option of saying, yes, I will do certain things and select items like GFI outlets to be replaced, clean out the gutters. You know, those are not, the GFI is required, the clean out the gutters is, you know, that could be a safety issue, could not be, that's kind of borderline. So those are things you can say, we're going to do these 5 things, but we're not doing the others. You can say, we'll do them all. You can say, we're not going to do any of these, but we'll give you a cash, amount of cash as a credit so that you can get them done once you have the house to your satisfaction. Or you can just say no. Depending on what the offer is, you may want to do that. So know that you as a seller have options. As a buyer, keep in mind, you are not buying a brand new house most of the time, which, by the way, if you are buying new construction, still have an inspection. There are things that could get skipped, only partially completed, and then they forget to go back and finish it. So it is very important on new construction to get an inspection. So bear that in mind also. So be cognizant. It's not a brand new house. So when the report says the roof is near the end of its life, the water heater's near the end of its life, and the HVAC is near the end of its life, that's a common thing we see in inspections. But if it's working at the time of the inspection, they are not going to be required to fix it. It's just to alert you that you will need to plan for an eventual replacement or repair of those things, because they are nearing the end, and they could go on forever, or they could break the day after you buy. So just understand that if it's a safety issue or a structural issue, that you can stand firm on those items for your inspection. So they'll give you a report, you evaluate the report, you make your request. The seller has a chance to go over it and decide what they want to do. You negotiate, and you have a certain amount of time that you are to finish those negotiations, usually 3-5 days. And so you want to get it done in expeditiously, okay? So do understand that if you find something like a crack in the foundation and you have to have a structural engineer come out to look at that and evaluate, then you have to get estimates on what it's going to cost to do repairs. You can ask for an extension on your inspection period. It's common. It's up to the seller whether they want to grant it or not, but you can ask for an extension on those items, because we all know it takes a while to get a contractor out to do an estimate on different things. So that is also another caveat to your inspection period. So bear in mind, it's a very important thing that we've got to do. We do it at the beginning here after you have signed your contract, given your earnest money. You've got a certain number of days to get that inspection done. It's really a great process for giving you peace of mind about what you're buying, and the seller that everything that they think is fine with the house is fine with the house. So it can be a good thing, and oftentimes there are just minor items that have to be taken care of, and because they're minor, the people don't mind doing them. So it can be a very positive experience. Just keep your mind open to the fact that there will always be something on the report. That is the inspector's job. So just understand and look at it with the perspective of what you would do if it was your home that you were selling. We'll get on further with some of the other items now that we have a contract. So I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.